Hi, hello, welcome. My name is Emmeline and I'm so grateful that you're here. I'm very excited about this video because I took a trip in January to New York and I just wanted to show you all the books that I bought, which some might say is too much, like the lady who was weighing my suitcase when it was only about 20 kilos overweight. Yeah, some might say I bought too many, but me, I mean, there's a lot of empty space on my bookshelf, so if we're being honest, I should have bought more. But I've got a very long list. This is the longest. This is like the most amount of books I have ever bought in one time. So yes, I am officially in a book buying ban for the rest of the year. I'm not buying any more books until I read, because I still have so many books I haven't even read yet, so I really need to read those. So if you saw my other video, it was like a list of books that I wanted to buy in America, and I got like kind of most of them. I think there were a few that I couldn't find, but I got some of those, and I also got like a few other random books as well. So the first book is Bunny, and I'm actually currently reading it. It's by Mona Awad. I'm not sure how to say it. I'm not very far in. I'm up to chapter 5, I think. Yeah, chapter 5. But I am really enjoying it so far. And yeah. Next is a poetry collection called Floaters by Martín Espada. And I like picked it up in the bookstore, and it just like, I mean, it looks really interesting, and I was sort of giving it a flick through and reading some of it, and one of the workers in the bookstore came up to me and goes, "Oh, that's a really good one, that's a really good one." And I was like, okay. Like, I sort of felt too awkward to put it back, but it really caught my eye and I wanted to get it. Also, these books like that I'm showing you, they're in no particular order. Like some of them I bought in New York City, and then some I bought in upstate New York, so they're kind of just like all mixed around. I'll be honest, I've lost count from which books I bought from where, so you know. Next is Violet Bent Backwards Over the Grass, Lana Del Ray's poetry collection. Now, I love Lana Del Ray, so I don't know if I'm like biased reading this, but I loved it. I think I read it already. I think I gave it 4 stars. I really liked it, but I've seen a lot of people hate on it, but I don't know. I love Lana Del Ray, so of course I loved this. Like, it was a given that I was gonna love that. Next is Animal by Elisa Taddeo, and I have to say, I started reading this and I was so extremely bored that I actually stopped reading it. I'm definitely going to give it another try, because like, this book on paper seems like something that I would die for love. Like, I'll read you the start of the blurb. Joan has spent a lifetime enduring the cruelties of men, but when one of them commits a shocking act of violence in front of her, she flees New York City in search of Alice, the only person alive who can help her make sense of her past. In the sweltering hills above Los Angeles, Joan unravels a horrific event she witnessed as a child that has haunted her every waking moment, while forging the power to finally strike back. Like, are you kidding? That sounds incredible. And I'll read you the first line as well. Oh my gosh. Because the first line, honestly, it made me buy it. I drove myself out of New York City where a man shot himself in front of me. And I'm like, sold. But I'm not gonna lie, I read it, I think I got like 20 pages in and I couldn't do it. Like, I was so extremely bored. So I'm definitely gonna be giving this another try, because it sounds so incredible, but I don't know, I just couldn't do it. Next, I have this incredible poetry collection. I've already read this as well, and okay, it's by Wislawa Szymborkska. Oh, I really hope that's right. It's so incredibly good. I really liked it. So this lady, she is a Polish writer, and this is her poetry collection. It's translated to English, but what I really liked about it was it would have the poetry written in Polish and then it would have it written in English, so you could see both. I really loved it. Like, there's a few pages that I folded down just because I loved it so much. Yeah, I really loved this. The next book is The Women Destroyed by Simone de Beauvoir. I'm very excited for this. I've heard a lot of good things. Yeah, excited for that. Next is Homesick for Another World by Ottessa Moshfegh. And I loved My Year of Rest and Relaxation by Ottessa Moshfegh. Which is like kind of controversial because everybody hates that book and I don't know why, because I really liked it. So I wanted to read more by her and I really liked this cover for some reason. I just loved it. Next is Before the Coffee Gets Cold, Tales from the Cafe. So this is the second book in the series. And I really liked the first one, so I think I will like this too. So next is All About Love by Bell Hooks. You know what? I can't remember why I bought this. I think it caught my eye and maybe I was having like a sort of manic book buying episode where I was just picking up any book that I thought I looked good. But no, I'm excited for this. I feel like I heard some things about it, but I might be confusing that with something else. I'm not too sure. But yeah, I am very excited to read that. Next is Such a Fun Age, 20% off at Target, of course. But yeah, I mean, I've heard a lot of good things about this as well and I wanted to read it. But actually, another thing about American books is this isn't on all of them, but I noticed a lot of them had it. The front cover is like shorter than the rest of the book. It's very strange. I mean, like, I thought it was gonna bother me a lot more than it does, but when I'm holding the book, I can't notice it. Like, I can't notice it, so it's fine. Next is The Houseguest, and I just thought that this, like, isn't this cover just beautiful? So I like instantly bought it. I literally bought it because of the cover, and I know you're not supposed to judge a book by a cover, but I definitely do. And it is actually a translated fiction as well, so I'm very excited to read it. I'm actually probably going to read this next or something. Next is The Picture of Dorian Gray. I have not read this yet, and I've been seeing so many really good reviews on it, so I really wanted to read it. But isn't the cover just so beautiful? Yeah, I am notorious actually for buying books because of that. I like the cover. Next, I have been wanting to read this book for so long. And it is Writers and Lovers by Lily King. Carly, who she talks about this book a lot, she said it sort of reminds her of Sally Rooney's writing and Normal People, and I love Sally Rooney and Normal People, so I've been wanting to buy it, but I couldn't find it anywhere in Australia, so I found it in Barnes & Noble. Now, next is, I've never heard of this book before, but I saw it and I was like, oh my god, this, like, I saw it the first time I went in the bookstore. I didn't get it, but I like looked at it and I was like, ooh, I like that one. But then I like didn't get it, and then I went back the next time and I looked at it again and I'm like, oh, do I want it? And I like read the back of it and I was like, oh, and I didn't get it, but then I went back and I got it because I really wanted to. So it's called They're Going to Love You by Meg Howry, I think. So I'll read the thing for you. Throughout her childhood, Carlise Martin got to see her father, Robert, for only a few precious weeks a year when she visited the brownstone apartment in Greenwich Village he shared with his partner James. Brilliant but troubled James gave Carlise an education in all that he held dear in life: literature, music, and most of all, dance. Seduced by the heavy pull of mentorship and hoping to follow in the footsteps of her mother, a former Balanchine ballerina, Carlisa's aspiration to become a professional ballet dancer bloomed, but above all else she longed to be asked to stay at the house on Bank Street, to be a part of Robert and James's sophisticated world, even as the AIDS crisis brings devastation to their community. Instead, a passionate love affair created a rift within the family with shattering consequences that reverberated for decades to come. 19 years later, when Carlise receives a phone call that unravels the events of that fateful summer, she sees with her new eyes how her younger self has informed the woman. She sees with new eyes how her younger self has informed the woman she's become. They're Going to Love You is a gripping and gorgeously written novel of heartbreaking intensity with psychological precision, and a masterfully revealed secret at its heart. It asks her what it takes to be an artist in America and the price of forgiveness, of ambition, and of love. And I thought, yeah, I'm gonna buy that. Next is The Idiot by Elif Batuman, I think. I've been wanting this for a while, but you know what? I didn't realize that it was like kind of a thick book, and you know, I'm not a big book person. I've got big book phobia, but I've been really wanting to read this, and it sounds very interesting. So yeah. Next, I actually did not buy this. My friend who I was staying with got it for me as a birthday present. It is called A City and Its People in Our Time, New Yorkers by Craig Taylor. And from what it looks like, it's sort of like a short story collection about all these different New Yorkers and how they live their life. It seems like a very sweet sort of story. So I'm actually very excited to read this, and it's just such a cute little present to get because I was visiting her in New York for my birthday, so it's just a cute little New Yorkers present. Next is The Collected Schizophrenias Essays by Esmé, Weijun, Wang? I really hope that's right, I'm not sure. This was one of those other books that I'd never heard of, but it literally caught my eye and I was obsessed. I sort of had a look into it, and I think it's the same sort of thing. It's like it's essays, so sort of like short stories. Yeah, I'm very excited to read that. I'm probably gonna read that soon. I mean, I know I say that about all of them, but I can't really decide much. So next, now I have heard like so much about this, and I was sort of like, oh, it's not really what I would like to read. Like, it's not really the vibe I'm into. I don't really care too much, but when I saw it, I thought, yeah, I'm gonna read that. The Secret History by Donna, Tart. Yeah, so I'm very excited to read this now. Next, and this is the last one I have with me, but I have one more book. I just don't have it with me. And that is The Best Short Stories of 2022. So I got this because I really want to read more short stories. I wanted to get more into it, and I thought, perfect. The Best Short Stories of 2022. That's exactly what I need. And also, isn't this cover so cool? Like, that looks so cool on my bookshelf. So yes, I am very excited for that. The last book that I got was called Ellis Island, and it was written by Georges Perec, and it had an afterword as well. And I read that, and it was my first 5-star read of the year. I just loved it. It was so informative, but it was so interesting, and like, I went to Ellis Island and I didn't know anything about it. Like, I didn't know much at all. So I learned a lot reading that book, but I just found it like so, I'm trying to think of another word to describe it, but like, honestly, it's indescribable. I loved it. But I gave that to my grandparents to read, and yeah, but yeah, I did love that. So they're all the books that I bought in New York City. You know, just a few. Kidding, it was about 20 something. But I had so much fun going to America and New York. so we went to New York City and we went to, there was this independent bookstore that was it was like in the Rockefeller Center. It was called McNally Jackson, and I really liked that. I actually got most of those books from there. I loved going there, and that was like, it was like a 5-minute walk from where we were staying, which was really cool. And then we also went to a Barnes & Noble in New York City as well. And that was all we went to in the city because we didn't see too much. It was just those two. And then when we went upstate, we went to another Barnes & Noble, Target as well. But I only bought Such a Fun Age at Target. I didn't buy anything else there. Well, any other books. I bought plenty of stuff at Target. And there was this sort of independent bookstore as well in the town they lived in called Northshire, and I got a lot of things from there as well. And they had a lot of, Northshire was really good. They had a lot of really cute sort of little knick-knack things, like little, you know, those little book things that everyone loves. Like I got a book light. They had just so many cool things. Like even they had like a few random things, like they had earrings. I got my sister a pair of earrings from there. They had like magnets, and they had a lot of really cool things. So I think maybe Northshire was my favorite. I did love Barnes & Noble too, but it was just so big. Like it was so big that it was stressful. Both of the Barnes & Noble that I went to were 3 stories, maybe 4. Maybe the one upstate was 4, but I'm pretty sure there were 3. But like they were huge. They had like a whole Starbucks in them. It was crazy to see, because we don't have anything like that in Australia. Like the biggest bookstore that I've been to is Dymocks in Melbourne CBD, and that one, well, it's like double story, but it's like the bookstore is on one level, and then there's like a cafe on the second level, but it's not, the book section is not double story. In Barnes & Noble it was like children's on one level, and then like fiction on another level, and then like non-fiction on another level. It was just crazy. There was books everywhere. It was honestly my dream. Like for my birthday, I had my 21st birthday in New York, and on my birthday we went to Barnes & Noble. We spent like probably a few hours there. It was so fun. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And I'm very excited to see what sort of videos I can make this year. I've got a few planned, but I'm gonna sort of see what happens and see what sort of videos I feel like making. But yeah, I'm very excited. There definitely will not be any book hauls for a long time, and if you do see another book haul, check in with me, because something is not going well. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. I love you all. Bye.